Hey everyone, Geophysicist Stefan Burns here. The strongest earthquake since September of 2023 has just struck the San Francisco Bay Area, a magnitude 4.6 earthquake rupturing under the Santa Cruz Mountains at a depth just more than 6 miles, or more precisely 10.9 kilometers below the surface, right underneath Boulder Creek. So anyone living in Boulder Creek was woken up by this at around 1:41 a.m. local time. That's 8:41 universal time. This being a pretty significant earthquake. Again, the strongest since September of 2023. We see the do you feel it responses here for this earthquake. Some pretty intense reports there in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And then in general, some low intensity reports all across the Bay Area as that seismic energy propagated upwards through these fault networks and systems. Even some reports coming in from the edge of the Central Valley, for example, like Antioch there. So pretty significant earthquake, again, the strongest since September of 2023. And this comes amidst some pretty significant space weather. So we have this large coronal hole on the Earth facing side. You saw there a big 1.5 X-class flare. We're right now being hit by that solar storm. We're in a G1 geomagnetic storm, and we are now in the high-speed stream being emitted from this coronal hole. And it's these sort of trans-equatorial coronal holes, meaning it's a large zone in the solar corona, the outermost atmosphere of the sun, made up of high temperature plasma, where effectively there isn't any. There's a hole in that corona. It's when we're in these sort of solar wind structures that we often get big earthquakes. Case in point is the fact that we had a magnitude 7.4 earthquake rupture before this event. Now, it wasn't in California, it was in Indonesia. We can see that right here. Huge earthquake swarm now as a result of this event. But this 7.4 being a big earthquake, one of the largest of this year. I think it's the second largest earthquake of 2026 thus far. And this continues the global seismic burst that we are currently in. We can see that here with our global seismic activity level as provided by Volcano Discovery. I'll link this in the video description. And since about March 20th, we've been having a ton of seismicity. Right now, the current seismic activity level is very, very high. As you can see, this is being driven, it seems, mostly by these coronal holes in that equatorial zone on the sun. Because before we had this one, we had an even larger coronal hole on the sun, perfectly correlating with the other magnitude 7+ earthquakes that occurred before this magnitude 7.4 in Indonesia, and that was the magnitude 7.5 in Tonga. So a big earthquake to strike the San Francisco Bay Area, 4.6. And if we look here, we can see that this is one of the largest events that we've had in the Bay Area for quite some time. So we have this going all the way back to the year 2000. So this is 26 years of earthquake activity, magnitude 4.5 or greater. And you'll notice there's really not that many earthquakes, okay? So if I had drawn this box around Japan, it would be hundreds or thousands, probably thousands of magnitude 4.6 events. If we look at the San Francisco Bay Area, we have 14 events total, okay? So we see this magnitude 4.6 right there. 4.5 occurred to the east back September 19th, 2023. That was a shallow one. Then we had this 5.1 there, Alum Rock. That was on the 25th of October. That was a full moon, by the way. This was also, right now we have a full moon. So both of these earthquakes here being full moon earthquakes, which is interesting to point out. Here we see the magnitude 6 South Napa earthquake 2014. That's the biggest of this time frame. But it's not the biggest earthquake ever to strike the San Francisco Bay Area. The last big event was Loma Prieta in 1989. Interesting thing about that is that was in 1989, about 36 years ago. That's exactly one Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So if you look at the planets in the sky, right around the time of the Loma Prieta earthquake, Saturn and Neptune were exactly conjunct in the sky and in the same place, right? And that's where they are right now as well. They are once again conjunct in the same part of the sky together. So interesting that we're seeing now this big magnitude 4.6 earthquake in the Santa Cruz Mountains, very close to the epicenter of Loma Prieta, which is right here. We see that being fairly close by. This earthquake 4.6 occurring here, Boulder Creek, and here we see the foreshocks for Loma Prieta. So this was, we have one in 1988, a magnitude 5.3 right there, 1988. And then we have this one here, magnitude 5.4, 1989. And that was in August. And of course, Loma Prieta was in October on the 18th. So we've seen some interesting activity out of the San Francisco Bay Area. This 4.6 could be a foreshock to something larger, but as I just showed you with those foreshocks to Loma Prieta, the two magnitude 5s occurred, well, one of them occurred a year in advance, and this is not a magnitude 5, so we'll have to wait and see. This could be effectively all she wrote, but when we look at the earthquake map for the past 26 years, we don't see much activity. Now, we have been having this earthquake swarm in San Ramon, but those earthquakes have been topping out around magnitude 4. I think maybe there's a 4.2 in there. A lot of earthquakes, and their cumulative magnitude is roughly kind of in this range here. But in terms of a single earthquake being magnitude 4.5 or greater, we don't have that for San Ramon. Instead, we have these 14 events right there for the past 26 years. We are in a geomagnetic storm right now as a result of this solar storm impact. We see our magnetic field volatility is increasing. We have our HB30 index, a measure of magnetic field swings. We see that it was low and quiet, then it ramped up to minor levels, which is 5. It goes to 9, which would be extreme levels. So this isn't a huge geostorm, but we look at all the different factors here, and well, we are in a geomagnetic storm, and we do have a large coronal hole that is cutting through the equator, and we are right now embedded within that stream of solar wind because our solar wind velocity is now increasing. We can look at that as well. So these sort of things do affect the Earth environment very clearly. If you pay attention, we see this time and time again. Here we see our real-time solar wind, and we see that our magnetic field strength increased to about 3 times more than normal. Right now it's 12, so that's 2.5 times more than normal. Normal strength is 5 nanotesla. We've had a lot of southward configuration, meaning it's a negative polarity magnetic field. To keep it simple, Earth has a positive polarity magnetic field. It's like 2 magnets snapping together. That solar plasma gets injected into Earth's magnetic field. The plasmasphere causes these magnetic field swings, and our solar wind velocity is quite high at 629 kilometers per second, right above 600 kilometers per second now. So we are in that coronal hole high-speed stream. We just had the magnitude 7.4 earthquake strike Indonesia. Now we have the strongest earthquake to strike the San Francisco Bay Area since September of 2023. Things are heating up. And again, we go back here, we see that we are in a sustained global seismic burst now. So this is not coming to a close, it seems, anytime soon, so long as we continue to get significant coronal holes like this. So that is your update for today. Wanted to let you know, I've been your host, Stefan Burns. Also, we have a sale right now running on our website. This is earthevolution.com. These products make and mix ourselves, all the herbal tea blends, my father and I. There's also some merchandise, as you can see. And also, we have 2 new products from my friend in Hawaii. This is Alohi. She has a company, Po Naturals, and she has this amazing muscle salve and also bug spray, all natural, and they work fantastic. So made in Hawaii by her. I recommend you check them out. I use these things all the time. I only recommend products that I use. And so you could pick one of these up, ship anywhere in the United States. That includes the Big Island, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, etc. And the code to get 5% off is to the moon. All one word for 5% off till the end of day April 5th, because right now we have astronauts in space blasting off to the moon. So the code is to the moon for 5% off till the end of April 5th. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Wishing all of you well. Please take care of yourselves. Say some prayers for the 4 astronauts that we have in space. We hope that they have a great, wonderful journey without any problems. I'll keep you up to date on all that and more. So please subscribe, smash that thumbs up button to help the channel grow, and I'll see you all in the next video.